His harmonica playing and songwriting have made him a folk music legend with a national and international following. But Sam Hinton has led a low-profile life here in San Diego. KPBS reporter Karen Rostada introduces us now to the legend and Renaissance man, Sam Hinton.
Well, there are a lot of little tricks to playing it, too. One of the things I worked out was a way of playing the harmonica without using my hands, but putting one end in my mouth.
Watching Sam Hinton play hands-free is an amazing experience.
When I play the harmonica, I'm putting my whole soul into it somehow. And that's the one thing that my arthritis in my fingers hasn't damaged my ability to play the harmonica.
But playing the harmonica is just one facet of Hinton's extraordinary life. In his 88 years, the La Jolla resident has mastered numerous careers. In addition to teaching biology and music at UCSD for more than 35 years, he's been a book author, artist and actor, as well as vaudeville performer, radio host, and legendary folk musician.
I ride an old paint and I lead an old band.
Did folk music influence your life, or did your life influence your folk music?
I think folk music influenced my life.
How?
It's kind of music that's going on all the time. And we're very fortunate to be able to hear parts of it, how it is at the moment. But the next moment it'll be very different.
Which really sums up how Sam Hinton lives, pursuing something different moment to moment throughout his life.
Old Boston was dead and laid in his grave.
Born in 1917 in Oklahoma, he moved to the tiny East Texas town of Crockett in high school.
Crockett was very nice, 5,000 people, 10,000 pecan trees.
Hinton says growing up in East Texas shaped his sound.
I used to go and stand outside the black church in Crockett and listen to the songs. And I learned a lot of my songs that way.
How did it influence your music?
There was a big black community, and they have lovely songs, and they represent an old tradition. Then there was a lot of people from the mountain country around Arkansas, and they have their own tradition. They have the tradition of the Southern Mountains, which is translated to English tradition. Then there was the Acadian French, the Cajuns we call them, and there was a small German population too. I like that Acadian.
It was his mother, a piano teacher, who bought Hinton's first harmonica.
And she said I was playing Turkey on the Straw on it before I got out of the store.
His mother sparked his interest in folk music.
She grew up with a knowledge of a lot of songs that I later learned were part of the folk tradition. She used to put me to sleep, and all us kids to sleep, with a version of Froggy Went A-Courtin' and He Did Ride. And that goes back several hundred years in England, that song does.
Was her version different?
It's always a little bit different. Everybody sings it differently. We sang, Froggy went a-courtin' and he did ride, Froggy went a-courtin' and he did ride, sword and pistol by his side,
Hinton was encouraged to pursue all his interests, which included science and music.
You remember, I was raised pretty much in Depression days, and there wasn't a thought then that one could do what he wanted in the world to make a living. So I just decided when I was very young to follow what I wanted to do. And these are both things I wanted to do. And I figured I would take a job with either one, and I would be prepared for it. And I did. I was on the road for a couple of years with a vaudeville troupe, Major Bowes units. Also, while I was a student at Texas A&M, I started collecting snake poison for Sharp and Dome Chemical Laboratories. they used to make the antidote for snakebite.
His love of natural history eventually led to a career as director of the Aquarium Museum at the Scripps Institution of Oceanography. His job included collecting and cataloging specimens. He's written 3 books on marine biology. At the same time, he pursued his passion for drawing by working as an illustrator for the University of California Division of War Research in San Diego.
Tell me about all of these books right here.
Well, those on the right on the bottom shelf, there are the little comic strip I used to do.
Comic strip? This is more than a comic strip.
Call it a comic strip.
Your illustrations.
Yes.
Where did you get all of these ideas, all these different species? Where did it come from?
Well, I've been studying this over a long time, and I knew most of them. And I had to find good pictures of them to copy.
For more than a decade, until the early 70s, Hinton illustrated a weekly newspaper feature called Ocean World.
What was it about the love of the ocean that appealed to you so much? Growing up in Texas, you didn't have a lot of water.
Right. And my first job after I finished college was as director of the Desert Museum in Palm Springs. And there's no ocean around there either.
Where did that love come from?
I think it came from Dr. Martin Johnson. I took a course from him at UCLA while I was still a student there. He was visiting. He was a professor here at Scripps. Take an A harp and play it in the key of E.
Of all his loves, his most endearing is for his wife of 65 years.
Well, I think being married to Leslie has been the happiest part of my life. I really date my life mostly from the time I married her.
They were engaged to be married just 2 weeks after meeting at UCLA, where Hinton was studying zoology.
I knew right from the first moment I became conscious of her. Yeah.
Together they raised 2 children while nurturing a music career and style that is both respected and revered by the folk music industry. Hinton has recorded more than a dozen albums, including work for the Library of Congress. In 1980, he retired from teaching and hit the road, performing in concerts all over the world. He was a headliner at both national and local folk festivals. 3 years ago, the San Diego Folk Heritage Festival was renamed in his honor.
Listen, I am a proud American. I came here in 27.
That's an old round. Down by the station house early in the morning, see the little puffer billies all in a row, see the engine driver pull a little handle, choof choof, off, puff puff, off they go. What I'm trying to do there is play the round in 2 parts of the harmonica at once.
While ill health has slowed his nimble fingers, Hinton's passion for performing still shines through. Even though Hinton hasn't played in public in several years.
Do you miss that, getting up in front of an audience?
I miss it very much, yes. That's the main thing that I wish I could still do.
What is it about a live audience that you miss?
The live audience is a very supportive thing to have. They work with you. They tell you right away whether you're doing it right or wrong.
But Hinton is quick to add that there's really no right or wrong way to play a folk song. Each song is as unique as the performer.
Any music will make you feel, I think, if you listen to it properly. But folk music is mostly all feeling.
Money to go my bail, and so I'm stuck for 90 days in the Portland County Jail. Such a bunch of villains.